Recorded live on location at the Generation X Comics and Games studio, it's Trade Paper Hacks, episode 18, with your hosts, Mark and Nancy.
Nancy No Beard! Yeah, cause you, Alex.
Right off the bat, that's what you're starting with?
Right. You, Alex. Nancy No Beard.
There's no choice.
Yeah, whatever, Nancy.
This is how our show starts.
Nancy, look, I'm gonna have to ask you to calm your little pansy down, alright?
Carl from
You got a Rosie in your
Aquatine-
posy, just calm it down.
Aquatine Hunger Force is joining the show. Okay, so screw you, announcer boy. Announcer boy, a man so dumb that he thought he could get his fish high by feeding it seaweed. As he so angrily told you, and I hate him for it. My name is Alex.
Nancy.
I'm joined by my co-patron in comic books, Mark Thompson.
Okay, a little bit of cabin fever. It's been icy up here in the Metroplex for the past week.
2 weeks, almost.
Yeah,
well, it's
whatever.
put us off for 2 weeks, and Lord knows that we wish we were recording. You're listening to Trade Paper Hacks, if you haven't realized that by now. And we're coming to you live from Generation X Comics and Games Studios over here in Bedford, Texas.
Southeast corner of Harwood and 121.
Next to the Pho restaurant.
Yes, pho.
I've been instructed not to say anything more about Taco Bell. Nah, crap.
What, old fake meat?
Hey!
Yeah.
You can tell your wife it's his fault.
It's his fault. He got us on that.
Yeah, no, that's fake meat, bro.
So,
so since he's already introduced himself.
yes. Okay,
I
well,
don't even need
before
one,
we
bro.
get to our guest, who won't shut up, I had to introduce the man who runs the show behind the scenes, Tech Booth. Say hi, Tech Booth.
Hi, Tech
Shut up! Who changed my button?
I was playing with the soundboard earlier.
Is this everybody screwing with Alex Day?
Yeah, dude, I saw.
You, Alex Nancy No Beard.
This is going to be awesome.
The budget for our censorship today. I have a button. I can say, hey, you!
Yeah, I can say, hey, you, Alex.
I had a show at one point.
No, you didn't.
I had a show with my friends.
Where is your button now?
Let me go ahead and introduce our guest tonight, who I was going to bring on as an olive branch to the insult I provided him on the last episode.
Yep.
Episode 17. Scott White, Trade Paper Hack Original. Say hi, Scott.
Hi, you, Alex.
Yay!
Hi.
Woo, yeah.
Welcome back, Scott.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Scott.
We
I'm
miss
glad to be
Scott.
here, Tech Booth.
We
Mark?
miss Scott a lot.
We miss Scott a lot. Now,
Yeah,
If you're
Mark
not-
missed me. What's your problem, bro?
if you're not caught up on why Scott's so mad at me, Tech Booth, can you go back and play exactly what it is that I said to piss off Scott?
Last time on Trade Paper Hacks,
There's a person who was very poorly attempting to grow one. How about Nick? Scott White.
So yeah, I apparently called you a neckbeard, which nobody gets the inside joke of why that's hilarious. But you will notice that everybody
pretty
in
good.
that studio laughed.
Yeah.
And you're mad at me.
And they don't
for
even know me,
saying
dude.
it.
That's the weird part.
It's okay. I laughed the hardest, so
Well, yeah, but, I mean, you had the
I was
inside
there.
joke. You had the
I had-
knowledge, bro.
I saw this happen.
You went off and back when we were first starting the show,
Yeah.
an episode that never aired, and you called a certain group of people neckbeards. It was totally wrong.
Completely wrong.
Went off on this 20-minute nerd
Oh,
rage
so
before we even
pissed.
figured out that he was wrong.
So pissed.
And he wouldn't tell us what it was before we started recording. He just did
Yeah,
it.
no, I tried winging it, which
And
Yeah,
can
doesn't
you,
work
and,
for
hey,
me.
And can you go ahead and tell them what I bought you after you did that?
So the lovely gift from Nancy was a beautiful My Little Pony t-shirt.
Yeah.
Woo! Sorry to the brownies out there, but not my thing. A bottle of Mountain Dew.
Uh-huh. And?
And also, the piece de la resistance, call those?
Fedora.
One fedora per crew, man. And I think there was more than one in the house that night. But yeah.
Yeah,
We didn't give him the fingerless gloves?
Oh,
Man.
perfect.
What
And a bag of Doritos.
Yeah.
Like I was on a budget. It was the early days. It was long before we
Fingerless
started.
gloves stained orange by Cheetos and Doritos bags.
It was long before we started making a ton of money with the show, like we are now.
Yeah.
All the money.
All the monies. Okay, so tonight we have a few things to go over. Something about Star Trek. I'm not sure what that is.
Something really important about Star Trek.
They haven't told me what it
If you
is yet.
disrespect my Star Trek Nancy, I swear to God I will come
Yeah,
across
you're
this table
just
and
gonna
let you
make
know.
this anger worse. Not
Right.
knowing anything
There's a
about Star
reason you're
Trek.
sitting between us, Mark.
Yes, there is. This is just gonna get
Yeah.
bad.
Here's a
Understand
buffer
what Mark's
zone, dude.
position is.
We got some news we're going to cover. We got like a bajillion things that have come out in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
since we
lots
talked.
of little things that won't warrant a whole conversation, but put together, they're one thing. So
Yeah, so that'll work out. Tech Booth, what's topic 3?
We are going to talk about bad art and whether or not it actually matters.
Bad art and whether or not it actually matters. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Could somebody tell me what this Star Trek news is?
So we are saddened by the loss of the great actor Leonard Nimoy.
You tacky mother Alex.
Oh, was that a Star Wars drop? I'm sorry.
Shut up. This will be over in like 5 minutes. Just,
Okay,
just
okay.
power through
Mr.
it, bro.
Nimoy
Okay,
passed
so
Just
away.
power through it.
No, all right. I'm sorry. Do you want to give us the news here, Tech Booth?
Let's do it this way.
Okay.
Scott, where were you when you found out that one Leonard Nimoy had passed away?
It was a work.
Yeah?
It sucked too because all I wanted to do was go home and watch Star Trek.
What time of day? Like in the morning?
It
in the
was
afternoon?
relatively, I think, like 11.
I was actually here at the shop working. We just got new racks in. It had just started snowing up here.
Oh.
And so my hands are frozen from carrying these snow-covered racks in. We turn the radio on, and the first thing that pops up is they announce Leonard Nimoy's death. So I was like, well, I'm going home. I'm going to get some soup, I'm going to get some hot chocolate, and I'm going to turn on some Star Trek, and I'm just going to...
Nancy, were you a big Star Trek fan?
No, unfairly too. Like my dad was really into the Next Generation growing up. I just never got into it. Wasn't enough action for a kid. Like I didn't understand
Fair.
the nuances
That
of it.
doesn't sound true at all.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I watched it when I was like 7 and thought it was the greatest thing ever.
You got to realize I had other things going on though. I had
He was a really
tons of-
dumb kid.
incredibly dumb kid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we all can't have bank job intelligence.
Dude, I'm a glorified like drive-through McDonald's clerk.
How's that comic book coming along, sir?
Oh yeah, weren't you working on a comic?
Yeah.
How's it
He's
coming?
got, he's got that comic in
Started
town.
another one.
Anyways, that's
ADD
the next,
kicked in, bro.
that's next time on Trade Paper Hacks with guest Scott.
You Nancy.
I wasn't a huge fan growing up. Barely a fan now, but I mean, I totally respect the fact, and jokes aside about me playing a Vader drop, totally respect the loss of Leonard Nimoy, who died at, well, he actually
83.
died of
COPD.
chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Tech Booth, you were at one point working in hospitals. What does that mean?
So COPD is a disease process that is kind of a cluster of things. So it's partially emphysema, partially chronic bronchitis. Basically, it's that thing that they diagnose longtime smokers with.
Which Leonard Nimoy was.
Right.
He was a chain smoker for years.
When he got diagnosed, was it last year? He sent out a tweet saying, "Kids, please don't start smoking."
Yeah, one of his, I think the beginning of those tweets that I was telling you guys about before the show, which were basically 3 months of him saying goodbye prior to his death. One of those was, pretty much saying that the worst mistake he'd ever made was picking up a cigarette in the first place.
Yeah, and I mean that's sad. Like I'm glad I quit smoking years ago.
It's a sad thing to lose such a talented guy like him over.
And I think hopefully if we get anything out of it, is that less people will start smoking. Smoking's already down anyways.
Yeah, but hopefully this drives,
teen rate,
if you have Trekkies or people interested in Star Trek that still smoke, maybe that can bring that number down a little bit.
I feel like a lot of nerds smoke, and I'm not looking at you, Tech Booth, for any one reason.
Wink.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
There is a chunk of them that do.
Is it more than
You know, I don't
do you
think we
it's
have
a
the
higher-
resources to conduct that study.
Well, just
but it is a good
anecdotally.
question.
Anecdotally, do you think that nerds
From
smoke?
observations that we have made at the store, I don't see as many comic readers doing it. I see a lot more gamers doing it.
And even then, all right. So, for example, we had what I would say we had somewhere between 25 to 35 people here today.
Yeah.
2 of them smoke, and that's about on par. Whenever we have a full game room, so it's down. It is down.
Yeah.
but it's like maybe 1 in 10, maybe 1 in 10, maybe 1 in 15.
10%'s a lot.
So it's not like
it's
the
good that-
1940s when 1 in 17, 1 in 5 smoked.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
That's a little bit different.
It's good for my generation because, like, I feel like people my age, if we see somebody our age smoking, it's surprising.
Yeah.
You know, like, I really, anytime I see a friend of mine smoking or something, it is kind of a weird revelation about them that, like, oh, you still do that?
Yeah.
That's weird.
So I tried explaining it to my wife. I mean, we've learned together. I Googled it, what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it for a little bit, and I read how much he had actually smoked in his life, and I read the fact that he died at 83 years of age. And so she goes, so ultimately, what killed it? I go, he died from being 83.
83
Well,
previous
with
smoker.
COPD, there's what's happening is that there are lots of reasons to clog up all these little tubules or air holes, basically in your lungs. But there's 4 or 5 different sources of it, so it's hard to control, and you can't deal with it. So he's probably dead because he couldn't breathe, aka being 83.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's going to make anything more difficult.
So what I want to know is, they say like a cigarette takes X amount of time off your life. Was this man immortal prior to smoking? Is that what we're supposed to understand?
I mean, how long do Vulcans live?
Long
300
time.
years plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
over 300 years.
Well, there you go. Vulcan starts smoking.
That's
he's
a lot
half
of-
human. Well, he's half human, too.
Oh yeah, fair.
So does that cut
150.
Yeah, we'll go with 150, 175 on the safe end.
Yeah. I mean,
So then that math kind of works out. Depending on how heavy of a smoker he was. If he was a chain smoker, dude, it's over. He
right. I mean,
got it about right.
he loved to party. Okay, so we kind of wanted to talk about a few things that Nimoy did. Now, everybody understands he was Spock on Star Trek. Nobody's
Yes.
surprised there. Dude, he was a huge contributor to other things nerd that we take for granted and we don't know, actually. Tech Booth was listing off a few things we thought they were so great that we decided to have him hold it for the end of the show. Or actually for whenever we started recording, hours and hours later. So,
Well, I mean, you might know. Okay, so we all know him from Spock. Most recently on primetime television, you would have seen him in Fringe as Dr. William Bell, which is kind of pretty awesome. He played like a
Fringe was a good show.
Fringe was an awesome show.
Like, I only watched the first season, and I regret not picking up anymore, but it's what happens when they have a Friday night
just
show.
leave it that way.
Really?
Yeah,
That first
I think
season
just leave it that way.
was bitchin'.
I watched
Good.
all of it. I don't care for the last season.
All right.
It's one of those things.
What else did he do?
He directed the 3rd and 4th Star Trek films.
He was a director. Go ahead. Oh, anything to add?
Oh, no, it was, yep.
He also
I find that interesting because
Sure.
I think 3 was a good film. I don't think 4 was nearly as good.
4 was the way home
Discovery-
or the long way home?
The way home.
Voyage
Yeah.
Home.
It was
Voyage
it was
Home.
the it was
Voyage
the
Home.
yeah Voyage Home. It was that ending of that arc that started in Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. And then there was that. Nancy,
Mm-hmm.
just dial it back, man. That
was
wasn't
a-
even...
was a
He
good
also
impersonation.
directed 3 Men and a Baby in 1987. You guys remember that?
what?
Steve Gutenberg's best movie.
So he got to tell Tom Selleck what to do.
Yeah.
Nobody tells
Straight-
Tom Selleck what to do.
Unless you're Spock. And then you just
Yeah.
You just
very calmly and
Gotta
logically
respect
lay
your
out
actors.
why you want him to do something.
have you guys actually seen that movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
When
It's
like
one
when's
of-
the last time you watched
It's
it?
like
it's
when
probably been
wife,
like
my wife goes,
15
"Oh my god,
years
3
ago."
Minute Baby's on every time it's on TNT or TBS or something like that."
Okay, here's the.
Don't test me because I'm not going to be
It's
able to
coming.
remember.
What's the song that they sing to the kid to put her to sleep?
No idea. No remember. No memory. of
Nobody.
that.
No remembering?
Go ahead. No remembering.
Well, good night, sweetheart. It's time to go. Ba-doo, ba-doo. They do a whole like.
No, keep going.
Nope, I'm done. I don't know the lyrics. I don't know enough of them.
No,
But
no, okay, I do remember they had like a whole little
Yeah.
thing doing that. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Time
That's
to watch
amazing.
it again.
All right.
Add that to your Spock marathon, man.
I know a few things he did.
What else they do?
He was the voice of Galvatron in the Transformers movie, which had an amazing soundtrack, by the way. But yeah, this is him.
The animated movie, the best Transformers movie ever
Now,
made.
he was also in. He was the voice of Sentinel Prime.
Sentinel Prime and Transformers Dark of the Moon.
which was an awful movie.
Wasn't as bad as the second Transformers
With
movie.
Robot Heaven.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf goes off to Robot Heaven.
I'm glad I skipped all those movies.
Yeah, the first one's good. I like the first one.
First one's okay.
I believe he also lent his voice
It's
to
a solid 5.
The Simpsons in the episode Marge and the Monorail.
He did.
Yeah, he was actually Leonard Nimoy.
Okay.
No, he was a
Leonard Nimoy.
doctor. Wasn't he?
No, he was Leonard Nimoy. He was on the monorail. He was on the train.
Oh, that's right. Because he also was in the episode.
He was in one of the tree. He was in the one.
Treehouse.
No, it wasn't Treehouse. It was the one where Homer thinks he sees an alien, and it turns out to be Mr. Burns.
Burns.
Yeah, he's the narrator at the beginning of it. Yeah, he's the narrator at the beginning of the segments.
Another thing I found out is that he was on the soundtrack of last year's Hobbit movie. Do you not remember that?
No, I need to.
Yeah, here. Y'all remember this from the movie?
Was that the movie that came out last year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it said.
In the middle of the earth, in the land of the Shire, lives a brave little hobbit whom we all admire. With his long wooden pipe, fuzzy woolly toes, he lives in a hobbit hole and everybody knows him. Bilbo Baggins, he's only 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
Bilbo Baggins, the bravest little hobbit of them all.
Yo, Bilbo, you my dude.
You're my boy, Bilbo.
I think I
You my
remember.
boy, Bilbo.
I think I do remember that. That was when like the dragon was flying through the air.
Yeah,
right?
that must have been
Yeah. Leonard Nimoy was riding on the dragon, singing the song.
something like
Yeah.
that. I remember it being a big deal.
It was a really great intimidation tactic, I think. It really
I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch and Leonard Nimoy
can't do it. That's too
blending
much
their
awesome.
voices. Yeah, no, you can't do it. What else did he do? Anything cool?
He
did a
yes,
lot
actually,
of-
in 2007, he had. He was also a photographer in life, and one of his projects that gets a lot of critical acclaim is the Full Body Project, which was.
Nice.
It was a session with full figured and or obese, although you don't usually use that term when you're talking about an art project, but big women's. Queen would be proud. Yeah, and they were like partially clothed. Some of them were nude, most of them tasteful. It's black and whites.
Much like our standee model back here.
Yes, exactly like our standing
Yeah,
model,
yeah.
but like
Yeah.
times 3 or 4.
There's like 3 or 4 of her?
Yeah,
Or you just...
and one human.
Oh!
Yeah, that's that's what I'm trying to say.
I didn't get it. Did y'all see that epiphany just happen on my face? I'm like, what?
Excessive fake meat. That's all I'm saying, bro.
I'm sorry, continue. Tell me more about this thrilling, intriguing project he did with
It actually was. I've seen it. It's
pretty good.
awesome photography. It really is.
All right, Google it, folks. What's it called?
The Full Body Project,
The Full Body Project.
2007. You'll find it definitely nowadays. It's all over. Other than that, he was just kind of ever present. He was, if we're talking about what he did, right?
Yeah.
One of the things he did was let introverts be themselves, because it's.
We're
You're looking
interviewing
at
Tech Booth now.
We are.
Or what?
We're interviewing Tech Booth and on his loss of Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, okay, well, you know where I was when I found out about it?
Where were you, Tech
I
Booth?
was at home messing around on my computer when I got the text from Scott.
Scott.
I was like, no way. My wife's sitting
No,
right
read the
next to me.
text. It was like, what was the text verbatim?
I don't know.
Something like, dude.
Dude, Spock is dead!
Yeah, like those exact words.
Spock is dead, dudes, or something along those
Yeah.
lines. It's like, what? No. And my response was, I'm glad I found out.
I
from
didn't
a
even mean
friend.
that like as a disrespectful like.
No, I
oh,
didn't come
Leonard
off that
Leonard
way.
Nimoy, a human separate from Spock, died. You know,
Well-
but in my head, it's like I don't think he would be that offended that in my heart of hearts, it really crushed me that Spock was
Spock
not there anymore. That the guy who brought me Spock as a kid,
Yeah.
was not there.
Well, that's
That-
that's an interesting point, because in the 70s, he wrote a memoir for himself. Because early in his career, he had some issues with typecasting. He could not play things that were not Spock because people didn't want him. They're like, you're Spock, dude. We don't want that.
But
Yeah.
it's something we forgot to mention. He was on Mission Impossible for like 40 episodes. Or
Yes,
something
he
like
was.
that. It was like
Another-
a major part of that show, and was a different character from Spock.
But nobody
Another
remembers
thing-
him from that.
Another
I
thing
know,
we forgot
yeah.
to mention is that he was uncredited as like a sergeant in the movie Them. That's important for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Thank you.
But next time, look in the background, you're going to see yourself a Vulcan time traveler.
So in the 70s, he wrote a memoir called I Am Not Spock.
Yep.
And then about 20 years later, he wrote another memoir called I Am Spock. So I think that at different points in his career,
Yeah.
he would have felt differently about that type of perspective. Obviously, he's kind of had
Well,
embraced it.
he
and-
kind of went the same path in his life that Shatner did. Because there was a long time Shatner wanted nothing to do with Star Trek fans and Star Trek at all until he realized what the fan base actually was in Star Trek.
Yeah.
And started realizing that they just weren't crazy about the show he did for no reason, that it inspired them to become. Because you will talk to tons of doctors and scientists, astrophysicists and all this stuff that were inspired to do what they do because they watched Star Trek as a kid.
Right.
It's fascinating the leaps we have made in technology and people doing these things because of this TV show they did.
So, here's a great question, because I'm asking it.
Has to be.
Nancy,
Tell us more. Tell us more.
All right, so Leonard Nimoy was a big influence on a lot of people, especially nerds like. I think we can all agree we're a little upset that he's gone. Done. Great. Let's start comparing him against other people, and if they were to die, who would you be more saddened by? Let's start
this
out
is
easy.
a very morbid.
Screw
Are
it.
you talking about like characters that were portrayed by people?
No. Which is more sad? Whose phone's going off?
Oh, that's me, bro.
Oh, you don't need to
It's
take
the
it?
woman friend.
It's the woman friend?
It's the woman
You
friend.
tell her you're busy with your guy buddies.
Nancy, I swear to God, one more time with that lip. I'm
Sit
keeping
on your
this
lips,
hand ready.
Alex. Sit on your lips.
Warm.
Sit on your lips.
Okay,
If he could sit on his lips, he would not be here right now.
I'll be making money. Okay, so oh wait, that's a rim shot. Never mind.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, no. Okay, back to the question. Which would be more sad, if Leonard Nimoy died or if William Shatner died? Which is more sad?
I think it's on par. I think they're both. I think they're the same. You'd have more people who are, I believe, will have more negative responses when Shatner exits this world than with Leonard Nimoy.
Okay.
I think because Shatner had more acting roles that he kind of broke out in
Yeah.
than Nimoy did, because people remember from T.J. Hooker, and he made, what was it, Tech Wars?
Oh yeah.
That great sci-fi stuff.
I gotta admit, he's still Kirk. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
You're Kirk.
He was besides being the
Boston
price,
Legal?
Boston
Boston
Legal.
Legal,
I was gonna
yeah.
say Priceline Negotiator.
He was
Price
that
line
too.
negotiator.
Do we get money for saying
He's
that?
also a fantastic spoken word artist. I don't know if you guys know that. Shatner has an album. Just trust me. Trust
He
me,
has-
audience.
He
Google,
has some. Actually, I have a couple of his songs on.
Google
my
the
phone.
album Has Been. And
Yeah, that's
Yes.
actually a really good album.
It
It's
is.
actually fun.
It's really good.
Yeah.
He has some good covers on it
Never
too.
heard
You haven't heard it?
It's awesome.
A Trek friend like you has not
Oh,
listened to
that
his
brings me
stuff.
to the next thing.
No. I got a couple more I want to compare against first.
Go ahead.
Before we go on, the next one, I was gonna say, Leonard Nimoy or Stan Lee, which is going to be more sad and impactful.
I'm gonna be pretty upset when Stanley goes, even though he wasn't. I mean, anybody that really looks into it deep enough is going to know that Stanley was not directly responsible. It's the Bob Kane, Bill Finger argument, but
Yeah.
on a much
Steve
grander
Ditko.
scale.
Yeah, but
Ditko had the larger hand, but you still had a guy that was responsible for making it popular in the first place.
right, he
Without his marketing,
Yeah, his
we
marketing-
we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this shit.
he
right
became
now.
the face of it. He ran it out there. He did all that. And even though he and Marvel had issues later on and whatever, he did help a lot with that. And if you know anything about comics, you know who Stan Lee is.
Yeah.
How many people know who Steve Ditko is?
Those people are all chumps. Don't know who he is.
Those are neckbeards,
Do you have
right?
another one for us?
I did, and I have space. So if I come back to it, I'll
Okay.
interrupt and interject.
Uh,
Leonard Nimoy or Shia LaBeouf.
Is that even a serious
I know,
question?
it wasn't.
It
Fuck
can't
cares.
be.
It wasn't. He was in sci-fi.
Twitch.
No, man.
He was
No.
in Constantine.
Yeah.
A comic book movie.
Okay, continue. You had a statement you were going to go down.
No, I was gonna. Okay, because you said a Trek friend. That was an awesome term that you used. It brings me to the next thing. So we were talking about Leonard Nimoy and how he's influenced people just by being himself. He had this character that had dualities, very controlled and logical, like I think most of us believe that we should be. and then he was always fighting that cantankerous side of himself, a little bit of anger under the surface or the emotional aspects. And if you think about it, from a television character perspective, it's probably one of the first ones to have that, to where you can see those two sides of a fake person. But we had also talked about growing up watching this stuff. You said growing up and watching Star Trek. So my question is, which fandom term or label do you identify with? Because there's the term I think most people know, which is Trekkies, and there's another term, Trekkers. And I've always heard the definition of Trekkers as being somebody who grew up in the culture of Star Trek, somebody who watched the show and tried to live their life by some guiding compass needle that Star Trek has. And so, does it matter to you what the label is?
I think Mark and I are actually in agreement on this. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. We're of the I don't give a fuckers.
Right.
Stop cussing.
Not ever gonna happen. Not ever gonna happen.
I identify myself as a fan of Star Trek.
Yeah. I mean,
and adding that label to me, I don't care, because I know what I watched and I know what I enjoy about the show and about the whole culture. So I don't have to be validated by other people on that.
Fair.
I think that's any nerdum.
Yeah, I think that's it. If you truly are into the nerdum of whatever it is, you don't care what other people say about it or about you liking it.
Or you shouldn't, at least.
Yeah, because it's something personal to you, and it means something to you, and that's what should really matter. Not trying to find validation and, hey, I like this thing and I know all these things about it.
That's how Deadpool fans are created.
Okay.
Seeking validation.
So going along with that, here's my next question. When you're looking at your Facebook feed and you see all these articles or clips about how this person has passed, and you're going to see this again when Stan Lee goes, and I'm sure many other pillars of whatever fandoms we're talking about at the time, do you feel like some of the stuff you're seeing are just people going just their own shout out to Leonard Nimoy for highlighting themselves? Do you think that it's a proper way to mourn the passing of an actor? Like, do you have any kind of...
I think that's the same thing for any celebrity. I mean, you're always going to have people that kind of just saw it on somebody else's newsfeed and threw it out there themselves just to kind of run with a bandwagon. But, whether or not you put it up there is indifferent to the fact of how that affected you as a person.
Because that's a personal thing.
Oh, Leonard Nimoy died. Totes sad. Who will fly the Millennium Falcon now?
Yeah.
Hashtag Star Wars. Hashtag so sad. Hashtag crying.
Hashtag YOLO, unless you're Leonard Nimoy.
Wait, was he a replicant?
What?
We can only hope.
You need to watch more sci-fi.
Bro.
Do you not get
I don't get the reference.
Did you get that reference?
Really?
Blade Runner?
Oh, it's been a long time. Long time. And
It's coming back, dude. It's coming back. They're making a sequel.
Are they really?
It's a sequel.
Yeah, they're
We're going off tangent.
You didn't know that?
On a tangent.
Wow, I out-nerded Tech Booth.
You got me, man. You got me.
Bringing back that
Let's-
Declan.
Okay, so...
Oh, Leonard Nimoy or Harrison Ford?
Nimoy, personally. That was a
know,
little
man.
too fair, wasn't it?
Ford was Indiana Jones and
Han Solo.
Yeah, I mean, he was-
the president of the United States, most
Get off
badass-
my plane!
Yeah, most badass
Yeah,
president
dude.
ever.
Next
to Bill Paxton.
Ooh,
Or
yeah.
Bill Pullman.
I was going to say Bill Paxton's
Hey.
pretty cool by himself.
This is starting to get
What the shit's going on, man?
It's starting to get to a really bad
Game over, man!
This budget, man. Game over, man. Congress ain't doing anything, man. That would be amazing.
Can you imagine Bill Paxton in House of Cards?
Dude, Bill Paxton as president would look like
I'm
that
the
scene in
realm-
Aliens where he's stabbing. He's getting the knife stab. Just
Okay,
freaking out.
we are going off. How long's this segment so far? Do we need to go? How are we
We
doing
probably
so?
do. I just want to ask one last question.
Hold
And then
on. You have a question?
Tech Booth has question.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll stop doing it when y'all stop laughing.
Well, stop doing it when you start laughing.
Yeah, got
Shaun of
that.
the Dead.
Totally.
Oh, cool.
Which tagline do you prefer to go out on? He was and always shall be my friend, or he lived long and prospered.
I think for now we'll go off with the friend one. I don't have the drop, but
Oh yeah, I like that.
No. The Kirk's goodbye to him during the funeral. Of all the souls I've ever encountered, his was the most human.
That is a. Why haven't I seen that anywhere? But that
I've
is the
seen
best.
I've
Yeah.
seen it. One person posted
Good
that.
call,
so.
bro.
Yeah, that's a.
I believe it was a friend of the show who posted that too. I saw it on Facebook today.
Yeah. So
So, all right, well, we will miss you, Leonard Nimoy. Hopefully, this doesn't mean that people will forget Star Trek forever because you're gone. But he's even worried about it.
Thus, Star Trek was forever scoured from human memory.
So,
yeah, don't worry. Honestly, I don't think Star Trek's going anywhere anytime
Nah.
soon.
No.
No, man, I'm about to be on my, fourth watching of Voyager? Voyager? What
Really?
the f*** did I just say, dude?
You're on your fourth watch through?
Whoa, bro!
Of
Yeah.
Voyager, really?
Yeah, fourth full.
The season? Like the seasons of the thing, not
The
Voyager.
show.
Series, yeah.
The series.
I'm on my third watch through of Next Generation.
okay, guys.
Really?
I think I'm on like my
Got it
fourth.
Dude, he can edit it out, it's fine.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
won't.
I will. I can.
Don't.
Okay.
No, do though.
No.
But,
No, we should do a group watch through of Truck Stop 9.
you know what we should do?
Truck Stop 9?
We should do it.
DS9.
Oh.
We should do a
Yeah.
Twitch streaming of us watching an episode, like our favorite episodes of, like we all pick our favorite episodes of
I'm in.
Star Trek.
Dude, that'd
Watch
be
them.
cool as hell.
Up to 3.
Am I allowed to pick the new movie?
No.
You know what? Actually, I kind of think
say
that would be
yes.
fun to do that and just tear you to pieces.
Well, we were supposed to do a thing where we watched Wrath
supposed
of
to watch
Khan, and then we watched Into
Darkness back to back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we compared and contrast, which I did that once solo. It was awesome. It'd be great with people who give a
Okay, folks. Come on, Tech Booth. It's your editing time. You're adding that
Well,
all
he can say whatever he wants.
Censors.
Oh, dude, by the way, I'm sorry about all the time I'm adding to your life.
Nah, it's cool.
Yeah, well, to you, Scott. All right, and with that, we'll be right back. We're going to talk about the news here in a moment whenever we get done washing Scott's mouth out with soap.
You just try it, Nancy.
Bye-bye,
Beer
Spock.
power activate.
Whatever girl's name.
Bye, guys. All right, and we're back. And now, Mark with the news.
So, we've noticed in the past, 2 weeks since we did this show last, a lot of little news bits have come out.
Little teeny little news.
Yeah, just little things that come out.
little,
and so-
little news bites.
Yeah, so we thought we'd just go over those.
Little nuggets of news.
Shut
Little
up.
nuggets of news.
Little nougats.
Little titty bits of news.
Little tiddly bits.
Little teeny weeny little things. It's so tiny.
Whoa, dude.
It's getting a little weird.
Sorry.
Damn it, what did I tell you?
Okay, too much sugar in this damn show. Let's talk about the news.
News. So, Arrow and Flash are doing very well on the CW.
They are, and I like the
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
So next season they are doing another spin-off of the two shows. Because they're like, it makes money, let's keep making money. Kind of. Brandon Routh is supposed to be on it as Ray Palmer.
Okay.
Victor Garber is going to be back as Martin Stein, one half of Firestorm.
So the whole Firestorm's not going to be there?
Victor Garber is the only one announced. Robbie Amell has not announced for the TV show yet.
You think it's, my cousin's doing it, might as well jump on it myself.
Well, Wentworth Miller as Leonard Snart, and Katie Lotz will be back as Sarah Lance.
The
one that died.
Damn, spoiler alert.
It's fine.
Season 5? What are we on? What's season 3?
4.
4?
Well, I mean, half the show is flashbacks anyway. It's not like you know that she's.
That's
gonna
true,
be
Can
too.
we
a
not
big
get rid of the
character.
flashbacks? I'm
That's
so
true.
done with the flashbacks.
I'm not.
I kinda like 'em.
They work well. Because
Okay, the only thing I don't
they're
like
better than the Lost
the flashbacks in this show is how Amell feels the need to change the register of his voice to indicate a previous points in time.
Yeah, I want to find that
Man.
point where he starts talking like the Arrow at all.
Yeah,
times.
when it's like that. That
He's fighting somebody on a boat, gets punched in the throat. Oh my
Oh
god.
God! Oh, hey, this is better.
Is this a lot better?
But it's
He goes and sees the Dark Knight. Oh, that's a great idea.
I just won't go full on with it.
Yeah.
I just started drinking a lot of dark beer, and that's all that happened. It really did put the hair on your nuts, if you know what I mean.
You have failed this city.
There you go. I had something for it.
He's eventually just going to be like, you have failed this city.
All
I'm
right.
sorry, what was it?
Okay.
Okay, so that show's coming up, but they have said that 3 major DC characters that have never been on television before or not currently on television will be added to the show.
Okay, so we know it's not Hawk and Dove.
Lobo, Orion, Mobius.
Whoa.
Wow.
Bro.
Obscure
Calling
new
them
gods.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Let's see.
So there are some rumors going around who is going to be.
And they're heroes?
Possibly. It just says characters. So one of the big ones I think would be awesome is Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
Oh, yes.
Because Booster Gold, they've been working on making him a TV show for a while
No,
now.
he's been on TV before. Booster Gold was on Smallville.
Well, I think they're saying like not currently out there in the TV and movie world.
We're going to start getting into press release semantics again. You know how Tech Booth gets pissy with
Yeah,
that.
he gets all kinds of pissy about that. But they're also they're talking about maybe Vixen, because remember we reported on this a few months ago. Vixen is getting an animated thing that's going to be tied into the Flash and Arrow
Yeah,
universe.
that's right. I forgot
So
about that.
they might
awful
pull her
one.
in. Rumor of maybe Martian Manhunter showing up.
That seems like a power, like a
Dude.
lopsided power play.
Yeah.
Strongest
I mean, not
character.
that I
I'm
wanna
all
see it.
about that.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Well,
I
they
mean,
did it, but he was in Smallville.
What about the daughter from Teen Titans? Or not Teen Titans, but the recent...
Slade's daughter.
No. His cousin, Jean's cousin,
Oh,
the White Martian that looks like a
what
Green
is
Martian.
her name?
I don't remember.
We fail.
Yeah, I mean, I remember from the cartoon. It's a kind of a female-sounding name that
The
they can...
Martian Manhuntress.
Something like that.
Lol.
Lol.
All right, I'm sorry. We'll find that out.
There's also talk of John Stewart being on the show.
McGann Moore.
So-
Now that...
But and the
That-
talk
ugh.
is that John Diggle's actually going to be John Stewart.
Not that he's going to become John Stewart, but he's going to be the Green Lantern.
that
Diggle.
but like that Diggle might be an assumed name, and his real
Exactly.
name is John Stewart.
Because he's got a shady military past.
Yeah,
he's got
his
all
Black
this
Ops and
covert
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
I originally,
That's what I called in the first season.
I was on the bandwagon of like Idris Elba would make a perfect John Stewart, and maintain that for a really long time. And then the minute that rumor came out that Diggle might be John Stewart, it was like why did I never connect that? And he would be so perfect.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, he would be amazing.
He
Here's
would
the
rule.
problem with it.
Budget.
They've already. The Flash has shown that they can use a pretty cool budget.
Yeah, it's not dealing with
Flash,
space or anything else,
Firestorm,
though.
bam.
I'm sorry, they have a CGI Gorilla Grodd.
That's true. That's
and
fair.
it looks pretty cool.
He looks awesome.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing: they've already said that that these TV series are not in continuity with the movies.
cares?
Well, no, that's the thing. You can still get your Idris Elba as a movie Green Lantern. Star.
And I could get Diggle as John Stewart.
Word.
All right, next piece of news.
All right, moving on. A little movie news, kind of in the same vein. Morena Baccarin, who played Inara on Firefly,
She fine.
she gonna be in the Deadpool movie.
What character?
That is one of those things that hasn't been announced yet. There are a lot of options. She could be Copycat, Deadpool's first love in the Marvel Universe. She could be Siren. She could be a lot of these female characters that have been around Deadpool that haven't been in the movie before. So.
Interesting. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. What's the one with the black runner? Domino.
Domino, there's talk she could be Domino as
Oh
well.
yeah, there you go.
That'd be
So-
kind of cool to see those two.
Yeah,
on screen.
so that's a cool thing. I thought that was interesting. Let's see here. Moving on, a little more casting news and TV shows. There's a Supergirl pilot coming up
Yeah.
for
this-
CBS.
Yeah.
Dean Cain has been cast in it, and Helen Slater. Who here knows who Helen Slater is?
I know, but I'm not gonna spoil it.
She was Supergirl in the Supergirl movie in the 80s.
I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
it was
expect it to
bad.
be great. It was bad.
It bad. It made Superman look amazing.
So here's the
It
thing.
made Superman Returns look good.
Poor Brandon Routh.
Poor Brian. Yeah.
Now,
He's
wait,
amazing
who are
Ray
they
Palmer.
playing? Does it say that
They
yet?
didn't say who they're playing. They've just been announced that they are going to be.
Because they
in it.
talk like Superman's in the universe with Supergirl and all the
Yeah,
scripts I've
it's
seen.
yeah, it's saying like that he's gonna show up in the pilot and like say, hey, "Good job, Kara. Go on," kind of thing.
Does this tie in with Arrow and Flash,
No.
or is this
This
like
is on
officially-
CBS.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they've
That sucks.
thrown around that it can be in the same universe, but they haven't really played that up yet.
Right.
I almost want it to be tied in with the. I always want these shows to be tied in with the movies because what ends up happening is the shows turn out to be better than the movies. And you want the shows to come in and make the movies better. You want to see them rise to the occasion and not the movies just cease to impress.
I think Flash has proved to us that they've got the formula for television down.
Yeah.
Because Arrow, those first 2 seasons are a little like I think end of season 1, halfway through season 2 is kind of when it really hits its stride. And now it's awesome. Every episode, I love every episode that comes out now. But The Flash was from the beginning, I thought, fantastic.
Well, yeah, by that point they figured out a cool format.
Yeah, they knew how to do it.
But that's what I'm saying is like they're cornering the TV market, or they could corner the TV market the way that Marvel's cornered the movie market. DC is just not as strong with their films,
Now-
but their TV is fantastic.
That's what
Yeah,
DC's
'cause-
been notorious for the longest time. Is their animated features were always very super strong
For a
and
long
their
time.
TV
They've been losing
presence
that
was
recently.
Amazing. Whoa, well, that's good. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, it is.
And Marvel owned the movies. I mean, granted, your Batmans were outliers on that, but well, hell, even those last couple Batman, not Christopher Nolan, but the '90s ones, your Schumachers.
Yeah, those were kind of garbagey.
Yeah, so I mean, Marvel was dominating the movies, and DC was dominating the animated realm. So maybe this is just the same shift, but it's TV, it's live action instead of animated.
But if you look at it, DC's always had good superhero TV shows. You can start with Batman '66.
You can start with
Just
Lois and
Lois and Clark.
Super
yeah.
Friends.
Great stuff. Yeah, I mean, they've always done a good Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Best animated superhero show ever.
Yeah.
It's just it's they know what they're doing TV wise. They just can't make a movie.
which is sad.
All right, let's talk a little bit of comic news that kind of relates to TV, I guess. Matt Fraction, Kelly Sue DeConnick are a power couple in the comics, and they have signed a 2-year deal with Universal TV to transfer some of their comics to television.
Sex Criminals being one of them.
That's the first one, Sex Criminals.
Really? Right on.
What channel's that going to be on?
Well, Outcast ended up Robert Kirkman's
Splooshed.
Robert Kirkman's Outcast ended up being picked up by
Cinemax.
Was it Cinemax? So I would assume it would have to be one of those channels because
Yeah,
there's no way you could get away with the amount.
Yeah, which one of the premium
I
movie
would assume
channels is
that-
hooked to Universal?
Oh, man. Let's
Tech
find
booth,
out.
boot
Isn't it
that tech.
Showtime?
It may be Showtime, which
I hope
I'm
it's
cool with
not
that.
Epix. Has anybody else seen that channel? All of a sudden, I get all the movie channels. I paid for all the movie channels in some big platform or package on my Uverse, and then they go and add another movie channel. So I'm still flipping through the movie channels, getting blank screens
Yeah.
half the time. It's like, you added that because you knew I got all the others.
I was mad about Epix is because they had like half of the Marvel movies on them.
Yeah.
I can't watch half of them now.
Jackasses.
Yeah, I know, jerks. But no, this opens the door to other things that Fraction and Kelly Sue DeConnick have done. Which
Bitch Planet.
Bitch Planet, Pretty Deadly. There was another Fraction one that I thought would be awesome, and I can't remember it right off the top of my head now. I failed.
Yeah, bro.
I failed big time.
You should write those things down in that special notebook you got.
I should have wrote that one down. I know it so well that I should have known it.
So you said NBC Universal is who's picking up
Universal
Sex Criminals?
TV, yeah.
Universal TV?
Yeah.
You think Universal's ABC?
No, it's NBC.
Oh, I'm about to say.
Yeah, so just a quick listing of what they've got. They got Chiller, they got Clue, they've got the Lifestyle Network.
That's got to
They've
be
got
it.
Bravo, E, Esquire, Oxygen, Sprout, Sci-Fi,
I can see it being on
Universal,
Bravo.
USA, TV One.
That's in Britain.
Yeah, that's it. I don't.
Nothing else there, huh?
Yeah, I could see Sci-Fi picking it up.
Sci-Fi could do it.
I think they
Can you
could
imagine
do it.
something sexy on Sci-Fi Channel?
All I can
Can
say
you imagine
is,
something good on Sci-Fi Channel?
oh come on, there's
Oh,
lots of great
Constantine's
stuff.
supposed to be
on
moving
Sci-Fi.
over there, isn't
No,
it?
no.
Constantine may be moving to Sci-Fi.
It ain't there yet, bro.
And Sci-Fi is, and Constantine's awesome. So
Constantine
shit's
is
face.
awesome. If it ends up on Sci-Fi, there will be one good show on Sci-Fi.
Ouch.
Wow.
Sorry, guys.
Throwing
I
the
wish I
bombs
could
out
counter
there.
that with like, oh yeah, what about this show? But I honestly don't know what's on sci-fi right now.
Exactly. Because no one cares.
So, some more comic book news. This past issue of Catwoman, it kind of it wasn't exactly, going by what writer Genevieve Valentine said, it wasn't exactly a revelation as it was a confirmation about Catwoman's bisexuality.
What?
Yes. Catwoman kissed a girl and she liked it.
Yep.
Please sing it.
No.
Please sing it.
The character's name was Echo.
Wait. Let me see the book. Here, show it to the camera.
You just did.
You're closest to the camera. All right, show it to me now. Hand it to me.
You gotta look at
I'm
this.
buying this thing, man.
It's got two
Greasy
chicks
hands.
making out, and that's the only reason you're buying it.
But she said that if you had looked at the way Catwoman had carried herself for years and years in the comics, it's no surprise.
Since the New 52.
Yeah, she kind of sees what she wants and goes after it, and if that happens to be a woman, it's a woman. But she's saying, they said it's not going to discount the stuff that her and Batman have done in the past. It's not going to take away the fact that her and Batman are connected.
Well, yeah, she's bisexual, and that's fine. But I guess this is where we need to have different types of guests on the show. Is it easier to do a bisexual female character than a bisexual male character?
I think that we can conclude unequivocally yes. That historically speaking, when you have a character who is announced as being gay versus a character who's announced as being bi or lesbian, the gay one is always shunned in some capacity. To the extent that people are boycotting comics or writing their uproarious letters, I believe that those people exist who are up in arms about a bisexual Catwoman, but there are many fewer of them.
I mean, there's so many more people just walking around going, nice.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
And all of those people can collectively themselves.
But
yes,
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I mean, Constantine was bisexual for many years in the comic books.
Constantine was into a lot of weird stuff out
Yeah,
there.
but it was
not saying
never made a
bisexuality
deal.
is weird, but he was also into
Batman's
weird
into
things.
bondage. I mean, he is.
I mean, is there
Come
any-
on, and it makes perfect sense. That guy really, he's an adrenaline junkie who gets beat up all the time, and he's not going to be into some weird kinky stuff. There's no way that guy's getting away with a regular sex life. Never happening.
Maybe that's where he tries to find normality.
I mean, isn't that
Right?
issue on a Catwoman kind of proving your point?
They had,
No,
And
they
all
were just
this
in their
stuff from-
costumes.
They-
Spider-Man
Batman
had,
Returns,
but with bondage, he
no,
was like
time out.
half tied
Spider-Man
up.
had sex with Black Cat in his costume.
and
Nobody accuses him of bondage, even though he webs people up all the time.
Dude, I think any superhero, they would end up having weird sex.
You think it's just a superhero group?
Dude, they're adrenaline junkies. You got to
They're not.
ramp up with it. There's no way that guy's going to go home and have just a normal candlelit dinner.
Captain America and Sharon Carter did a missionary, and that was it.
Okay, well that's different. All right. He's
it
from
was a different time.
he's from 42, bro. All right.
There were no other positions back then.
That was how you did it.
You get it face it down so God couldn't see what you were doing.
What else
right.
you got?
So a little bit something else. Tech Booth can't say anything about this because I find it interesting. Archie will end its 70-plus year run with issue number 666.
Is it just going to be
The
done?
number of the
Yeah,
beast.
they're rebooting, aren't they?
Yeah,
That's metal.
That's happening in June, and
I
in
might
July,
buy
and in July, it's getting a reboot. Have you heard who this team is? That's doing
I
it?
remember hearing it, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
It was
Isn't it-
Rob Liefeld.
no,
Dan
it's-
Slott.
It's Mark Wade
and
and
Fiona Staples.
yeah, that is awesome.
Mark Wade will be writing Archie.
And
What's
Fiona
the
Staples is doing
What's
the art.
the goofiest thing he's going to do? I should not talk when I'm chewing.
You should not.
Are you more excited that Archie is being rebooted and started over again and maybe might become relevant? Are you more excited about the creative team on the book?
Actually, honestly, it's a creative team. I think
Yeah.
the pairing of Mark Wade and Fiona Staples is going to be awesome. And I will read
Fiona
the book
Staples
simply because
anything
of that.
is-
because
is
Fiona
awesome.
Staples is one of my top artists out there.
Okay.
She's amazing. And then just Mark Wade is a fantastic writer. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does with these characters and see what he changes with these characters.
And he's about to be on that Princess Leia book too.
Yes. So, I mean, yeah, we've had the argument, Tech Booth, about Archie, and that's fine.
Well, we haven't had it on air.
Well, we haven't had it on there, but
But to have it updated for a new generation and maybe even, made I mean, I know they've tried to
I think you
update
can't.
it.
I just don't see how you can update Archie and make it relevant.
You'd have to. I mean, you're going to change fundamentals of the characters, of course.
And then of course the core group gets upset about it. The core group that's really only been kind of sort of buying books over the last 2 or 3 years is going to get upset about
exactly.
it.
But
So,
But how many people are you willing to lose to bring more people?
well, I think that's the gambit. I think that's why
Right.
they're putting that creative team on there so that folks will go, "Oh, creative team, it's going to be awesome."
I'll buy it. I'll buy it based
put
on
out
creative
right
team
now,
alone.
It's going to suck. I can't wait for when this book comes out and you guys go, yeah, the artwork's kind of good. First issue, I thought it was going to be K, but 10 issues in, I believe that everybody at this table.
I think that noise actually ramps him up.
It really does.
It gets him going.
I love monkeys.
I am not saying I'm not arguing with you on that point. I totally think it has the absolute possibility of being terrible, but you are putting a good team.
You're giving it the best chance it's going to ever have.
You're giving it a shot. So I mean.
And that is the nature of the game. It's all gambles,
exactly.
right?
It's a
books
complete
are created every month.
complete
You got to figure out
gamble.
whether or not people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
How long is it going to be till we find out that Veronica is bisexual and into bondage?
Never.
I
think you're probably right.
Issue
I think he's
2.
a lot more right about that.
Yeah.
And then you know it'll be like, nice.
Okay. I also find it funny that they're ending on 666. I think that's hilarious.
The number of the beast.
I think it's absolutely hilarious.
I got to buy it just because Satan.
Satan commands you.
Satan, he hath commanded me.
Jesus.
Satan writes a really good Archie book.
So another comic book deal. Thor's identity will be revealed in May.
Finally!
We will find out who Finn Thor is.
God.
Chris Hemsworth.
Oh.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Pim Thor.
The comic book Finn Thor.
If you guys have you guys been reading that?
Yes, I think it's awesome.
I have.
But dude, oh, is it her? Is it no? Wait, but it might no. Oh, but dude, no. I get so tired of that. Oh,
It doesn't really do that.
it does.
When?
Every issue, dude.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, you my mother? Bleh. No, you're not my mom. All right.
so
Thank
you
God, I
don't
feel-
like the fact that they go, "Who's this chick with the hammer?" and people are asking who it is. You
I
don't
thought
like
it was.
that?
I thought it was a cute gimmick the first 2-3 issues. After that, I'm like, look,
But it's only
in-
on issue 5.
issue 5 plus an annual, and we still have no idea.
Yeah, you'll find out in May. They're
Okay.
building suspense, Al. Or I almost called you Alex because you're arguing with me so much.
What?
Dude.
Scott?
I'm going to go ahead and agree that we can just mark.
Yeah, f- you Mark.
How do I use the censor button?
Why do you bother if I'm here?
Yeah. Well, it is helpful to me. But, you know,
Yeah, I'm
whatever.
cutting out some time. We just need to replace it every time with.
Sorry, man.
No worries. What else you got?
All right. So we saw the Avengers Age of Ultron posters have come out now, finally.
That
official
is
posters.
correct.
There have been a few individual posters put out as well. Also, when this happened, Chris Hemsworth did an interview and said that Thor will have a personal loss at the beginning of the movie.
Are they just going to go ahead and kill Jane Foster off? Or just
That's kind of what I was wondering.
What if he just gets really drunk and loses the hammer? I've lost something personally. Hammer!
He just wakes up next to a frost giant. Oh.
I've lost my virginity.
something's got to give. It's going to be
Something's
Sif
gonna
or
Sif.
Lady Jane. Like she's got to go.
They got it. Maybe
Jane,
they want to open it up
Odin.
for more.
Really? That would be
Odin
all
Odin
father?
dying would be.
If they're leading to
Oh, we're leading to
Ragnarok,
Ra- Yeah. Okay. I can
Well,
see that.
wait,
gotta
how's
die at some
Odin going to
point.
die if, hashtag spoiler alert, Loki is currently hanging out on that throne?
but where is Odin?
Maybe Loki dies.
Maybe no.
Got it.
He's gonna find out that Loki did something to Odin. Maybe.
That's
Oh,
more
it's-
likely.
yeah, it's-
Hey,
it's-
if you're building up to Ragnarok, you got to change what we understand as the foundation for the movies, which is this big glorious kingdom of blah 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 with
Yeah.
powerful magics, etc., etc.
He also said that in the movie that there's more exploration into Thor as a character in the movie instead of just the guy that hit things with a hammer. So that's
How
going
far
to
can
lead.
you really go with that?
Well, and that's going to lead to Ragnarok. So I think in
Okay.
the style that Marvel knows how to do, everything that happens in this movie will give you more information about what's coming up and make this even more impactful 3 movies from now.
Interesting.
Like comic books, weird.
So, and we've got more posters out there. Robert Downey Jr. put out the Iron Man poster, which looked really cool.
And then he said in a week's time, which will actually probably be a day after this is posted,
March 5th, I believe.
Something
was
like that.
When it was calculated.
and we're going to get a major announcement from Marvel and they're either teasing it's going to be Spider-Man being cast or something like that.
Yeah,
Or
it's
they're-
casting or naming directors to the movies that have no directors yet.
And the rumor is right now that one of the directors will be Robert Downey Jr. himself.
I think it's being talked that he may be directing, I think, Captain America, Civil War,
Yeah.
maybe?
Ooh.
Which would be interesting.
Which means he won't be in the movie. That's how they got him on board, and everything we've read so far is a lie.
I think that's all wrong.
That is all wrong, yeah.
That
Sounds like internet.
Yeah, go internet.
Yeah.
But
We know nothing. Here's the things we don't know.
but there's also rumored that he's going to announce an Iron Man 4 movie too.
So,
So it's going to be interesting to see where that leads us if we actually get anything interesting out of that. I think one last quick thing I have here. If you've read Sandman, which I think most of us at the table have in some form or another, they had an offshoot, Lucifer, got his own book for a while. They are doing a pilot for USA. Or I don't remember who the pilot's for. But they've cast Lucifer in this. His name is Tom Ellis. He was in the USA series Rush. He played Robin Hood in Once Upon a Time TV show. He played the character of Tom Milligan on Doctor Who.
so nothing good.
No, nothing really good. But yeah, there's going to be a Lucifer TV show. So they're just pumping out these comic TV shows like you wouldn't believe.
He looks nothing like him.
Well, here's the thing. I've heard a lot of flack about the show already. That I didn't read Lucifer. I read Sandman, but I didn't read Lucifer. And I don't... everybody I've heard says that this is already going the wrong direction. They're not real... A lot of the core fans aren't very happy of it for it.
The show breakdown is Lucifer gets tired of running hell, so he decides to come to Earth, goes to Los Angeles, and decides to help the police by punishing the wicked.
I think
That is not anything like that character.
Yeah, I know.
He opens up a club
Yeah,
when he gets tired of hell.
yeah, I know.
He's also
Okay.
like super dark complected and dark hair. Where the Lucifer character was like an Aryan.
Yeah, very fair skinned,
he was
very
very
blonde
blonde.
hair. Yeah.
But we shouldn't be surprised because the studio that's producing this is Fox.
Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be crap. There it goes.
Yep, there it goes. Well, on that horrible thing.
I'm just glad to see that it's not just Marvel characters that get jacked over by Fox. How about that?
I'm good with that. Oh,
That's fair.
did you guys see the pictures of Fantastic Four that got put out?
No.
No.
Of them in their suits?
No.
It. Why not? What's wrong with you, Alex?
Keep talking. I'm going to pull it up.
They look like sci-fi spacesuits. It's going with the feel that this whole movie is just going to be a sci-fi epic. It's called
So it's
Fantastic Four.
Interstellar plus superpowers.
Yes,
Yeah, we said
Super
that when-
stellar.
Super Stellar. Go look them up, people. They actually look pretty cool.
Point out a direction. I'll put a suit there.
Uh,
Nice, thanks.
It's
Not a lot to see, millimeter.
Not
Not even a necktie.
What sucks, even in a matter of time, I can't find it online. So,
well, you're useless.
totes.
Totes.
Next
All
news
right.
piece.
That's
We're
it.
out of news pieces. So
That's it. You got all of my pieces.
Thanks for your nooglets.
Nooblets.
Nooglets.
busy little thing of news. Thank you.
All right, guys, hang out. Tech booth. What's our third topic again?
It's
What makes bad art and why does it matter?
Thrilling. Okay, so we will be talking about crap art.
crap art.
Hang out.
We are back to Mark and three jackasses.
He's not wrong.
Can't argue with facts.
Yeah. So the third segment this week was kind of a hapdash kind of thing.
What the hell is the other two segments?
Yeah, well,
Perfection.
we'll see. We were gonna have Chad here. He said he was gonna be late, so we are just gonna do a third segment with him. But he called in and said that Deadpool wasn't gonna happen this week. So
Again.
we're gonna talk about art, bad art. Maybe not necessarily bad art. Art we find displeasing. Is that a good
That's
way
fair.
to put that?
So you might suggest that we're talking about bad art and why it matters?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Thanks, Tech Booth.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job, Jason.
Congratulations to Jason, everyone.
So, have you ever been reading a comic book and looked at this panel and just said, "Boy, this artwork just drives me insane"?
Why is Batman sneezing in the middle of a conversation?
Why are these
He's got the
ears?
sneeze face.
Why does Batman only have one row of teeth when he talks?
Why is his bat ears on there 4.5 feet tall?
Why does 95% of everything Tony Daniel does look good? And then there's this.
So that's kind of a question that I kind of want to pose to everybody. If you're reading a book, you're enjoying the story, but you get to that panel of bad art, or they change artists halfway through, your arc you're reading, does the bad art affect you? Does the art you don't like, does that affect your perception of your story that you're reading?
Yes and no. And the reason I say that is it really depends on how good the story is and how bad the art is. I was really thoroughly enjoying and this is, y'all gonna make fun of me for this.
All right.
What was the DC fighting game that came out?
Injustice.
The
A lot of
Injustice,
people like that.
That first,
They said it was really
first
good.
season of Injustice books. First year of Injustice books. I thought they weren't bad, but the art was just atrocious. And now in the collected editions, they went back and they fixed it.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was something to do with the inker or something.
So
like
yeah,
that.
something didn't go according to plan.
It looked awful. But the thing is, it's like, I can't take this book seriously. I wouldn't buy the next one because I was like, the story's not good enough to tolerate my eyes having to be put up with this.
But the problem, that was a good story, though, and that does a disservice to it. I think that if somebody's going to get turned off because the artwork's bad.
Another good story that's recently come out that comes to mind with not bad art, but bad coloring. You want to take a guess? Witches. Scott Snyder, Jock, and some jackass on colors.
Yeah, because Jock's art is destroyed in it. I'm not a big fan of Jock's art. Never have been.
His interiors.
But the way this splashy watercolor style that was done,
that's becoming
destroyed
a thing.
his art. It is becoming a thing.
Yeah, we have proof of it. I'll grab it.
Yeah, we have behind us on our fabulous new comic wall.
Curb Stomp. This one.
Also Intersect.
Intersect does the entire
book is that.
Yeah, it's like somebody took watercolors and
Holy crap! Oh, there's boobies on that page. I can't show that.
yeah,
one.
don't show that page. Take the boobies out.
Man, there's a lot of boobs in this. Some bondage boobs
Why's-
there.
Why is tree good? Why is sky blue? Why is boobs good? It just is, brother.
I'm pretty sure there's a secret ball sack on that page.
Did you say a secret?
Yeah,
Like, it's not-
nobody's
it's not-
supposed to know it's there. or
It's
something?
not
secret
initially
ball sack.
there, but there's definitely some balls right there in the negative. I'm not joking. Look at this.
Can't unsee it.
Can I show this on the screen?
That's
Yeah,
camera?
go for it.
Like,
fair.
because those are two faces there. But if you actually focus in this area right here, there's a secret ball sack.
And once it's there forever.
You can't
Oh, man.
unsee it.
It's secret. A secret ball.
That's the problem with being vague in art, guys.
What do you
Because guys like Alex will just go through and see ball sacks everywhere.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Okay.
just
So, I don't care how good this story is, it's never going to be, something I can't look at and not see ball sacks. If your art is ball sacks,
just
so.
everywhere,
yeah.
all over the place.
Then you have books like Alex and Ada, which
It's boring art. That is the most boring art.
to the point where it is distracting that nobody ever looks like they have a facial expression.
Holy crap, those are talking heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the entire book. Now, granted, one of the people on this page is a robot. Guess which one?
The guy holding it.
Nope.
No.
Fuck you, Alex. No, in every page is the same bored expression from everyone.
I have to throw up a counter to this. I'm not saying the art is super great, but I believe that it really fits that book because it takes away a lot of possible distractions. And in my opinion, when reading the first 6 issues of that, what it made me do is focus on the dialogue, and there's a lot of it in that book.
Yes.
And think of it from that very clinical, very sterilized future that this guy lives in. And the life that he's chosen to have, which is devoid of distraction. What does he have in his house? Nothing. Why? Because that's him.
Okay.
So his grandmother gives him an android and says, hey man, screw this, be happy. And that's the first introduction of something chaotic into his world. And
But
unfortunately,
every single character has to look bored at all times.
Now,
Well,
here's
it's
the
the
thing.
art
At
style.
what point do you want the art to stop being distracting and you just decide that, you know what, I want the art to stop being distracting. Let me just write a regular book.
That's a fair point.
Let me just tell this
actually
story
thought
in a
about that
medium
too.
where there are no pictures.
Or in a short film. I think when I read that, I really do see a short film there, which is weird because it makes it sound, well, yeah, actually it's a perfect storyboard. Horrible comic book if you think about it
but
from that
that's
perspective.
kind of my thing, is that I feel like a lot of people that make comic books like this aren't really trying to access the right community with it. If they, like he said, if they did make a short film out of it, I'm sure it'd be great. And you already have the storyboard there. They clearly have the talent for sequential art. But it doesn't make sense if your comic book is uninteresting to look at, even if that is your aesthetic. If it's uninteresting to look at, it's defeating the entire purpose of being in a visual medium. Because as much as you like the words and the dialogue and everything else, a comic book should be able to be read without the dialogue at all. If you can
have some clue of what's happening.
If you can take the dialogue out and understand the story, then you have made an excellent comic book.
Unless you're Dan Slott and I'm reading Spider-Verse and I'm like, why is Spider-Ham?
Spider-Ham.
Why is Spider-Ham naked? I got totally lost in that. And that's art.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
Now,
nude Spider-Ham.
No.
The only other one that I pulled off the wall, and this is, before I say anything about this book, this is on my pull list. This is a book that I enjoy.
It's a cool book.
This is a book that was supposed to be on my pull list, but somehow I never made it past issue 1.
That happens sometimes here.
I'm not holding it against you. I'm not really that upset about it.
But
Since he never said anything about it until the podcast.
This is art by Ty Templesmith, and it is...
Whoa, you didn't say the name of the book.
Gotham by Midnight.
The brand new issue 4, Gotham by Midnight. Ty Templesmith.
Right, which is excellent. It's Jim Corrigan in Gotham, and for those that don't know, Jim Corrigan is the Spectre currently, and it's basically the horror comic that you want in Gotham City. It deals with all the supernatural, and it's excellent. The writing's excellent, and the thing about Templesmith, and I find this with some artists, is that sequentially, as far as how his panels are laid out, as far as how he actually lays out the entire book itself, how everything moves, it's fantastic. But the actual character designs, I don't know if that's an intentional aesthetic or if that's literally just what he can do. But he's got such a talent for how the thing moves and how the story moves in and of itself that I have to pick up the book every month.
This was... I'm sorry, do you want to go?
Yeah, the thing with... I think the horror element of this works well to that style that Templesmith does. That kind of off-skewed character where everything doesn't really...
the Sam Keith almost.
Yeah, where things don't exactly look realistic, and you're getting that supernatural side into it and that horror element into it. I think leads into that.
You do get to a point, though, where it's like some of these look like doodles that a kid did in his junior high notebook.
And that's where we kind of got off on this conversation originally off air.
Right.
Was we've been proven, and especially art like this, that you don't have to have good art to tell a good story. As long as it's passable, understandable, and sequential.
Right.
It does a great job of telling the story. This I attributed to Invader Zim, which wasn't a typical animation style, and it was very, very niche, very specialized to whatever that genre was. You wouldn't be able to tell a My Little Pony story in the Invader Zim style, even though about 3 bronies just wet themselves when he's saying
yes,
it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, a Zimboni.
Oh, God.
Splash.
The Zamboni.
Zimboni.
You've ruined hockey forever.
Didn't take much. So,
but yeah, that or Adventure Time doesn't have a really good art style, but
yeah,
it's very unique. But it's
I mean,
not,
good in art is a hard argument to make because everything is subjective to everybody.
yeah, that's kind of why I went with displeasing to you in the description of it. Just because I kind of counter Alex. I enjoy the look of Adventure Time. I like that art style. I think it looks cool.
I think it's my personal opinion.
And it fits the world that they're in and fits the characters that they are.
And I guess that makes sense, and I'm not a huge fan of that
It
show.
took me a long time to come around to it. But I first
It took me a long
into
time,
it.
too. Yeah.
I can't get into the art style, and it keeps me from watching the show.
Do you
I can't
guys
get into it.
have
I
a
think it's
particular?
cheap.
Do you guys have a particular comic book or comic book artist that was initially like a hard pill to swallow? That it was. Do you guys have one that's just like, man, I want to read this, but I just can't get there, and then later on you came to appreciate it?
I'm afraid I might have a confession to make about these comic book things.
I don't have a Tech Booth as a confession button.
You're going to get there.
Work
All
on that.
So I've been reading comics off and on for my whole life, and I have never once thought to remember who the artist was. And I never cared to follow that. The author made sense to me. Whoever's
It's a
writing
visual
this
medium.
book. Yeah, no, I understand that. That's hence confession. Like, I understand that that's something that should be followed. I should understand these names. The way you guys rattle them off, I'm just like, oh, okay, some guy. Like,
And if you're reading Marvel books, the artist is more important than
the
whoever's
stories.
writing dialogue. Because Marvel method entirely is the guy draws your damn book, and you just fill in words in a bubble.
So let's and this is a DC example, a situation where the art was too good, and I have no idea what happened in the storyline. Kingdom Come. Alex Ross drew it.
Painted it. Those are masterworks.
He spit heaven on a page.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's gorgeous. I could barely tell you what the storyline was in that book, and that's one of the most famous books of all time. I think it's mostly because of his art.
Elseworlds, dude.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just
Kansas got blown up entirely.
I'm not asking you to explain it to me, Scott.
He doesn't care. He
I don't care.
He just flips through
I'm
the
just
pages.
not gonna
Goes,
remember.
That's so pretty.
I can't blame him.
So-
I can't
oh,
fault
man.
him for doing that. It's Alex Ross.
It's Alex Ross. Yeah.
So they can swing both ways.
Was just waiting.
But yeah, so I mean, there's that thing. Not everybody focuses on the art when they read the comic book. That's a true statement. I've seen that several times. I've seen people that prefer just to follow the writers and don't care what the art is.
Right. Well, and there's some artists that are really good as far as their proportions and their character designs, but the way the book flows is either too confusing and you can't even keep track on the page.
Yeah.
And that is a bigger problem to me. It's not just about how your character designs are, it's how you lay the book out.
Yeah. So your people like your Chris Claremont, not Claremont. Who did the Batman Inc. books?
Chris Burnham
Chris Burnham.
Burnham. Sorry, I got my Chris.
and Yannick Paquette.
Yeah, those people, great at laying out complex things and being
Right.
able to follow. I hate to admit this, but the one person that kind of had trouble with that, J.H. Williams III, who did the Batwoman books. Now, gorgeous
It got confusing,
stuff.
but he was trying a lot. He
You
felt
couldn't
like
tell
it was
if he was
kind of
trying to make it confusing because some of the storylines.
Right.
But sometimes it got a little too much, and you're like, I love this. Every page is something
Right.
you'd hang on a wall, but it needs to be scaled back so I can understand the story a little bit.
Yeah.
And some nerd out there is going, "Oh, you're a plebe and an amateur."
Yeah.
You know.
So
you don't be able
was
to hand
this
that.
New 52 Batwoman that you're talking about?
He did some before.
Yeah,
New
he did
52
pre-
launch.
New
He actually
52.
wrote on it at post New 52.
Yes.
He also did some Batman Inc. stuff.
He kind of did a film.
The Black Glove, actually, that was a Batman book with Grant Morrison. Also, one of those scenarios where, like, should this just be confusing? Is he doing that on purpose?
Right.
But then you can never tell. If you can't tell, you might need to scale it back a
like
little
Dark
bit.
Knight Strikes Again is
Dark Knight Strikes Again is a garbage story and garbage art. It is.
I try to
No,
it is.
It's a Frank Miller fever dream.
Yeah, I don't care that Frank Miller wrote it. It's bad.
Absolutely. I'm not ever going to be somebody that just worships at Frank's altar because I don't really
I'm pretty
care
sure
that
he
much.
drew it with his left hand.
For all intents and purposes, we have no reason to believe that he didn't.
Yeah.
Because he's done better art than that before. But there is an interesting perspective there in that, there was Grant Morrison was speaking about the book and saying that he doesn't hate it, he just had to find a different way of viewing it. And that's the thing, is if like a particular drawing of a woman is absolutely terrible, it's because the artist doesn't care about that drawing of the woman, and that it's not his job to report back on reality and show you things that are exactly how they are in your life. He's showing you his perspective on that item, which came out to be complete garbage.
Yeah.
But
in most people's opinion, I'm sure if somebody out there read Dark Knight Strikes Again thinks it's the best book they've ever read.
Those people are not welcome. They're welcome not to listen to the podcast.
Actually, one of my favorite
Yeah, I'm
things
calling
about...
him out. I'm getting rid of listenership. We only have the 3.
So we lose 1, we're the 3rd down.
Yeah.
But the thing that I find fascinating about this argument is the different people view the different art and their opinions on it, and on famous artists.
Let's see some of these here.
Michael Allred.
Yeah, this one's going to start an argument.
Is very much loved in the comic community for his artwork. He created Madman and did that for a long time, and has kept pretty much the same art style the entire time. And I absolutely hate it.
That Silver Surfer you're holding up?
Yes.
And Silver Surfer's been really popular lately, too.
Yeah, this book sells. People love it. Now, let me tell you my little anecdote about this. I love Silver Surfer. He's one of my favorite characters. I loved the acid dreams from the 70s that were written for that. Thought they were fantastic. When this started a year and a half ago or whatever. New Silver Surfer book. I was so excited, on board with it. And then I found out Michael Allred was doing the artwork, and I have yet to read 1 page of this book.
Ouch.
For my love of this character, I have yet to read 1 page because Michael Allred's doing the artwork.
What was the character you made? Madman?
Yeah.
It looks like
exactly,
Madman.
yeah. The Silver Surfer in this looks exactly like Madman, just doesn't have the red lightning bolt and the hair on top of his head.
I thought that was Freakazoid.
That's
close.
a black lightning bolt and a red onesie.
Oh.
So, but I also know people enjoy his work. Does anybody here enjoy Michael Allred's artwork?
Not particularly.
I just glanced through it and not. I'm indifferent on it. I think this is part of Marvel's initiative of having different types of art and not having a single art style for a house art style.
I can agree with that, but I think it ill fits the character.
Well, but not the story. Okay, so it's...
See, that's the thing. I haven't read the story, but it's a personal roadblock. I cannot get past the art to read the story.
At that point, do you think it's kind of an inept argument to say that, I hate Michael Allred, so I'm not even going to give this book a chance, even though this is one of my favorite characters? Because I'll read a Batman book, shit, who's the artist on it? Whether or not I end up enjoying... Oh, come on. Whether or not, I end up enjoying the art too much, I mean, it's a Batman book. If the writing's good, I'm with it. Who wrote that Silver Surfer run?
It's a lady, right?
Dan Slott!
Never mind, burn it. Burn it. Burn it.
Dan Slott! Now you say into the microphone, Dan Slott!
Did Dan Slott really write that?
Yes, Dan Slott.
Slott!
He didn't start this book.
Yes, he did.
He did, really?
Yep.
Can I buy this and burn it?
No.
Burn it, dude.
Well, you buy it. I don't care what you do with it.
I'm putting it back on the wall backwards.
Oh, man.
Well, that's...
No, and here's
rough.
to show how this book is better backwards. A freaking Hot Topic ad is on the back, and it's still better than anything Dan Slott puts out.
I think that the artwork suits that story very well. Reading the first...
Yeah, they're both crap.
I guess that's a valid point, because it does feel like Norrin Rad is the Doctor. It's very 60s sci-fi, like, whodunit, trope of the week type of thing.
Really?
Well, yeah, because he is
Doctor
the
Who?
cosmic being with ultimate knowledge and power, and he has a female companion that comes along with him to do things, and they fly about in this weird artwork, and they do things. Like,
So you tell me Dan Slott comes up with another BS 60s trope and abuses it to all hell with a beloved character.
Uh-huh.
Great. Superior Spider-Man is now called the Silver Surfer. Let's move on. What other crap do you hate?
I think we lit Alex on fire over here.
So it just pissed him off to see Dan Slott in the book.
God!
This is...
Like, I can't even... Move on.
Yep.
So this is a artist that I know a lot of people love, John Romita Jr.
Why? Why do you love him? He's a hack. Throwing it out there. His art used to be so much better back when he was doing drawing the Marvel way, and all of a sudden, I don't want to look like Daddy. Let me go ahead and draw another direction. So I'm going to give Superman little toothpick legs skinnier than mine. Who I got called chicken legs last week.
Yes, you did.
I bet you right now, you can look at my hamstrings and they're better than that. That's
we'll skip that.
Yeah, I'm not going to look at your leg again.
It's not going to be fun.
But no, I am not a fan of John Romita's artwork at all. And the thing is, I really enjoyed his father's work. Senior's work was great.
I'm sorry, Tech Booth, I interrupted. Go ahead.
I was going to say that book looks like Super Bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks like a 90s trading card,
Now,
actually.
It does. Here's the thing about Romita Jr. He's a great storyteller. even though his art and his details are awful, he can tell a good story.
Yeah, I can follow the panels in here and know what's going on. I trudged through this book and was giving the new Superman run a chance because Jeff Johns was writing it and John Romita Jr. was drawing it. I knew that would be an issue. But I am a fan of Jeff Johns, and you've messed this book up, sir. You need to go back and try again.
You know what? Johns didn't do a great job either. That book's not great.
The book is not
Superman
great.
sucks, so we've agreed on this.
Yeah.
Superman's a hard character to write well. You have to put him in a situation nobody's ever heard of, and that's why Elseworld stories are the best place for Superman.
The new
All-Star Superman.
The new, even the new Masterman book for the Multiversity.
Yeah.
That was one of the best Superman stories I've read
and
in
it's
a
because
long
you
time.
can't do normal Superman and do it well.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Now,
I don't think that's fair to say.
One person in the last 10 years has done it, 15 years, has done it well. It was Grant Morrison, All-Star Superman. Technically, it's not
All-Star
a continuity.
Superman was excellent.
Right, but you know why?
Action Comics?
Time out. Also Grant Morrison.
But even after him.
why? You know why? Because it's Grant Morrison, not because it's Superman. You had to have a
That's fair.
You had to have a blockbuster writer. Doesn't matter the art. You have to have a blockbuster writer in order to make that character good.
I think that there is a place for Superman though. I don't think it's fair when people say that he's a boring character. I don't think he's a boring character. He's just not
good.
No. It has nothing to do with that. You can put him in interesting situations and you need him there as the moral compass of the situation at all times. But
they've kind of he's lost his moral compass in the New 52.
Not in that story. He's pretty moral.
Not in this story, but I mean, come on. At the beginning of Justice League, Superman's a dick. Superman's a straight up dick at the beginning of Justice League.
I agree. Back when they first meet and all that crap, but I mean that's just how they were writing the character at the beginning of the New 52, and they've since kind of washed that away. Now we're getting off on a Superman tangent. We're talking about bad art here. Chicken legs all throughout that thing. Even if you can be the best storyteller ever, if you're not looking at the details, it's telling me that you're just doing this job as a paycheck, and
you're
half-assing it. Genuinely, you're doing enough to get by.
Feel passion in this. I don't feel desire in it.
Nobody should use advertising dollars on this artist. Romita's coming. Waste of money.
Name sell, dude.
Great. The art's awful.
So, this is kind of a new one we've kind of taken on. A young gentleman by the name of Sean Crystal. I don't know if he's young or not. He may be old. I'm not real sure. He started drawing Arkham Manor. For one, the writing on this is bad. I believe this is Jerry Duggan doing this.
Duggan?
Duggan? Jerry Duggan, however you say your name, is writing this. I'm not a fan of him. He's done a lot of Deadpool in the past.
Ooh, that's old Chad.
But, so I hooked up with this man named Sean Crystal to do this artwork, and this is bad artwork. This reminds me a lot of Liefeld artwork.
And Mr. Crystal, we've had these discussions before. It's nothing against you personally. It's just we hate your hands. And we hate the things that have come out of your hands.
But if you look at this, Batman has got gorilla arms with a tiny leg.
What the hell is that?
This has got to be the worst panel you've ever seen. And I'm showing the YouTubers first, and then...
Oh my god, Batman lost his neck and broke his ribs, and his boot is attached to his thigh.
It does. It's tiny.
That is horribly bad.
Guys, you guys have to check this out on YouTube, or actually walk into Gen X, pick up an issue of Arkham Manor.
Arkham Manor number 5.
And then put it down and pick up something else and purchase it.
Oh my god.
In fairness.
Why did you do this to me, Alex?
In fairness, Arkham Manor is lasting a total of 6 issues ever. So... The next one, and it's done. So, it's fine.
But it's just... So, even if this wasn't a bad story, I had a hard time getting to the story because the artwork was bad. Once again, that affected me. Now, there is a book, I didn't grab it, Gotham Academy. I'm not a fan of the art style. It's anime style. I'm not a big fan of that. I was able to look past that enough to start reading it, and it's really good. It's a really good story.
Even though it's a straight-up anime high school drama, the entire thing.
I was going to say, I think I sold one of those to a high school girl today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that's
Yeah.
for. And that's the thing. That's the target demographic. They're catering to it. They're pandering to it. That's fine. That does well. It's not the art's fault. The art's good for what it is.
For what it is, yeah.
Arkham Manor's good for nobody.
Yeah, because there's not enough redeeming in it to make it good to me. But Gotham Academy has a really good story behind it. Has good writing to it.
All right, so maybe let's put it this way: if you're looking at a new book, like you just said, you got past the artwork to check out the story. How many times out of 10 do you actually read the story, like in that situation?
Probably about 2.
About 2 out of 10. So 1 out of 5.
Yeah,
one out of every 5 books that you're like,
So-
F this artwork. Maybe you pick it up and read it.
20%
right? Figure it out
success
before-
rate. If we're just going to start doing
Yeah.
fractions.
Let's keep reducing
Let's
it,
just
man.
keep going with the 20%, 80% failure rate.
There you go.
In fairness, I've read through a lot of books where I really wasn't a huge fan of the art, but I'll trudge through a story. Just
Yeah.
you know,
Like I said,
I'll give it
really
the
followed
old college try. You know what I mean? Like if I read the first 3 to 4 issues of something, and I just can't do it, then that's fine. Alex and Ada, I read the first 2, I think, and bought the first 2. If you don't have me by the end of the 2nd or 3rd issue, you're just never gonna. It's never gonna stick.
Here's the problem. At $4 a gamble,
Well, yeah, I'm not.
$4 a gamble, you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but when you're spending $20 to $50 a week, like an average comic book user, your
user.
Dude, it's
Comic book user.
it's that bad.
roll up Arkham Man and put it in intravenously. Set it on fire. I ain't smoking it. No, you can't. You can't keep putting out garbage. Is what I'm saying. You can't expect people to
Right.
spend $3.99, $4.99 on a book, and it not be great.
You
This
sure?
is not a $4.99 book. It's not. I don't care what
Wow.
kind of paper you print it on.
Wow.
The Superman books are not good enough to be $4.99. The art's not good enough to be $4.99. It's not enough freaking pages to be $4.99. It's not any more than any normal book. It's not worth it.
They even tried to Batman, which is the gold standard at DC right now. Mm-hmm. You know, the Greg Capullo Snyder Batman run. They tried to bump that up to $4.99 one month, and
the crowd said no.
I still bought that issue, but had that continued,
Might have jumped off.
sorry guys,
BS, not a
it's-
Batman. You wouldn't have jumped off $4.99 Batman. You paid $6
If
for
it kept
Batman.
going
I almost started
for
paying
a regular
double.
issue, dude, I couldn't do
Did
it.
you get 2 copies?
Well,
That's it.
here's what I was going to start paying double for, and this is the rant. This is a rant separate of art. This is Redditors. I can't go an entire day on the internet without seeing a freaking Batman spoiler the morning it comes out because some douche nozzle that works at a comic shop out in the middle of nowhere that wants fake internet points decided, hey, I'm going to take a scan of the most recent Batman spoilers and I'm going to post it online at 7 o'clock in the morning the day the book comes out. And all of a sudden, I can't go on the internet because I can't not see a spoiler and I can't go buy a book. So I'm going to start 7 o'clock in the morning buying the book digitally and then going to my comic shop later that night, buying the book again, reading it a second time, and putting it in the back of the board only to never open it again, buy the trades and the
Why
omnibuses
bother
later.
reading the book? Just stick it in the bag of board and let it go.
I want to read the story. I care about the story or else I wouldn't be
read
upset.
the digital. Get that guided view on cosmixology. And you'll
Yeah,
be
there's something
fine.
different about holding the book in your hand, you know? I'm old
That's-
school like
yep,
that.
totally.
Yep.
Yep.
An iPad doesn't convey it like, ink and paper and...
I'm a big fan of them taking me in one panel at a time, one dialogue bubble at a time.
that's different.
And
I don't-
pacing that story. I love it.
Yeah, what happens if your entire page is the panel?
It will show you the entire
Yeah,
page.
I mean, I know it'll show you the entire page, and they'll go into one spot and zoom there, but it's just
Well, I guess that's different. Like, and while we're on the topic of art and digital storytelling is one thing, but I guess that's a story for another day. We about ready to wrap
Oh,
up,
yeah.
or we're
Oh,
over
yeah.
on time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're over on time. Let's kind of recap. We're gonna go ahead and thank Scott White, despite my best. Despite my experience talking to him tonight, we're gonna thank Scott White for being
It's all
here.
out of love, man.
Yeah.
I don't actually hate you,
Well, I know.
and not real you, Alex. Fake you.
Yeah, totally.
If you could put that vigor into shaving your damn neck,
You just had to fucking.
You had to do it.
I actually extended the damn olive branch. and you're gonna
That
come with
fake's
that?
getting smaller.
That fake just disappeared, bud.
Yo. So next week we are going to actually try to get Chad on.
See if it works this time.
See if it works this time.
I'm so mad at him.
I actually got people asking for him Like, is he real? Is he coming? Yes, he's real. He'll be on the show soon. He's the flakiest person. Why do we keep plugging him?
It's not that we're playing. It's just, when you make a promise to your crowd, your audience, you want to be able to deliver on it. You want to be able to hey man, we're
getting
this
there,
to happen.
right?
And neither one of us know Deadpool like he does, so we can't do the Deadpool show without him.
And I know people want to hear
all I know
Deadpool
about
show.
Deadpool is Ryan Hussein sucks at writing it. That's about it. So I need Chad to tell me I'm wrong and figure out how to make it all better.
Yeah, there's some other stuff. So I'll tell you what. If we can't get a hold of him, we'll get him on the phone or something. We'll do something.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a animated version of him.
Yeah, we'll get something.
Okay, so you want to go ahead and spoil the news of what we're doing in 2 weeks?
Oh, in 2 weeks, we're going to AllCon, the local convention. Tech booth, can you give just a 2-second blurb of it?
Let's say it's the con for locals.
So the local DFWians.
In Addison?
It will be in Addison.
So we'll be there. So go buy your tickets and meet us out there. We'll have cameras and microphones. We're there as press. So
yeah, you'll notice us. We will make a present.
Giant logoed shirts that have our logo. You'll be able to see us. Come say hi. We have some friends out there that we're gonna reach out to.
Come talk to us. Hey, maybe we'll put you on camera.
We will put you on camera if you come talk to us now. Well, we put you on YouTube. Who knows?
You might make it to the show.
You might. All right, so I want to go ahead and thank the store that we are recording at again tonight, Generation X Comics and Games Studios over here in Bedford, Texas.
Southeast corner of Harwood and 121.
Uno dos uno. All right, and I guess to wrap up the night, we need to thank Tech Booth. Thank you, Tech Booth, for all of your efforts that you've put into the show this evening.
You're going back into fourth grader book report mode there. Tech Booth works on the show, and we like it. Thank you.
Tech Booth does things. Thank you, Tech Booth. All right, now, if you want to reach out to us on social, there's many, many avenues you can go through. Facebook.com/trade paper hacks. That's probably the most popular way to do that right now, to reach out to us. Hit us up on Twitter @Trade Paper Hacks. We'd love for you to follow us there. Instagram @Trade Paper Hacks. Tumblr, which doesn't get posted to a lot. Trade Paper Hacks. And of course, YouTube is probably how you're watching us right now. If you're watching, that is. Do we have a URL for that?
Not yet.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Numbers.
Go like us, follow us, and get us there.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe is the jargon they use on the tubes.
Yep. Subscribe.
Subscribe the tubes.
Subscribe. There should be a button right there. I don't know if that's going to be accurate.
I think,
guess.
yeah, it's somewhere over in this area down there.
Right.
Yeah, you see
if
it?
you
Click it. Click it, Scott.
No, not sniff it. Click it.
You got to sniff it before you click it.
All right.
I don't think he did it.
Anywho. You can shoot us an email, tradepaperhacks@gmail.com. Now, remember, tonight, there's tons of news out there. Don't believe everything you hear. Do everything you can to, weed out the bad news, weed out the goofy news. Sometimes things don't make any sense. Sometimes things aren't important. Sometimes you should just take things for what they are and say, that's not news. Bisexual Catwoman, that's not news. That's just good storytelling, right? Or that's just a character. That's not news. You shouldn't be worried about that. Also, don't judge a book by its cover unless somebody asks you to pay $4.99 for it. And then, of course, we're going to say goodbye to Leonard Nimoy. Sci-fi. This is happening.
Right now.
Yeah, it happened.
All four of us hold up the...
Yeah, sci-fi legend. We'll miss you.